Okay. We're back. And I'm here to finish what I started. Let me turn this off. I find that the music is pretty annoying. I'm playing games like these. You don't really need music. Here, you just play the game as is. There was no music in the original. There doesn't need to be now. Okay, as you can see, we have our offline progress here. Now, we have our first antimatter galaxy. Now, don't get me wrong. First antimatter galaxy, you won't see much change. But trust me, the take speed is what I would call the clock of your entire production in these antimatter dimensions. It keeps them moving at a faster pace. You'll soon find it's very useful to have these later on. You'll soon see that it does create a big, big boost on your antimatter. Now, this achievement doesn't do anything, but what you really want to go for, actually, might be this on your first Infinity. If you can't, it's fine. You can get 2 antimatter galaxies and do it on your second go. And I forgot to get this. I'm not even sure if it was possible. Actually, but it doesn't matter now. Alright, but we do have to do everything over again. But at least we have automation. Now, I won't spare you the whole entire... I'll spare you the entire thing of waiting and waiting for a new antimatter dim booster, stuff like that. So, well, because since we have automation, it just does this for us. The intervals aren't that good since are at their default values, since we don't have challenges yet and we haven't completed them. Even the you have to change the if you want to change the mode, so it's at singles. if you want to change the mode to max, you want to you have to get the challenge. All right. I'm just gonna cut here. Okay. 5th dim boost. Oh, you can see it didn't take that long for me to reach 4 or 5 dim boosts now. This did before. It took me about like an hour to do that. But now, it doesn't take so long because now we have a better tick speed upgrade. On your first infinity, you can't really get much. Okay, let me turn this off. You can't really get much on your first infinity, except claustrophobic. No point in doing that. And forgot to nerf. As well as this one. And this one too. That's mainly what you want to get on your first infinity. Number 36, 28, 32, and 31. You don't need to get this. You certainly can't get this either. You don't need to get this either. Since this one doesn't produce rewards, this one does. All of these pretty much give a good, pretty decent boost to your antimatter dimensions. Which will help you later on your infinity runs. So it's obviously going to be more than optimal to get these later on, for later on runs. This is going to be hard. I'd honestly let you save this for later on when infinities are pretty easy to complete. Or maybe even at break infinity. Because this one is actually harder than it seems. But generally, for my first infinity run, I'm going to try to do 36, 32, 31, and 28. And then you can get Double Galaxy next run. I'll cut here too, to not bore you guys. But soon we will get a huge boost on our antimatter dimensions. We'll see how big these antimatter galaxies really are. Here, our antimatter slowly goes up by a lot. These multipliers boost our dimensions by a lot, increasing our antimatter production. Along with sacrifices. And just look at these numbers go up. You love to see it, don't you? Classic number go up game. And well, would you look at that? We're about where we left off last time. And that didn't even take us an hour. You see how good these galaxies are? Just a little bit of an extra boost on your tick speed can improve your gameplay by a lot. Even if it's by 0.02. I cannot believe I was just recording that. I forgot to hit end. I forgot to hit the keybind, bro. 10 dim boosts, which antimatter to your 8th antimatter dimension. So how you want to do this really is you want to get 8th antimatter dim. You want to turn the automation off so you don't accidentally go to the 100 without buying 99 of them exactly. No, obviously I'm gonna have to wait here, but I'll cut to when this does happen. Okay, so as you can see here, we're nearing up onto our... Let me actually disable all of our auto buyers, so this is a bit more easier, and that's how you do it. Alright, yep, that's it. And now we can enable all of our auto buyers again and keep on going. We're actually going to be able to get our next achievement. Why would you do that? There's no point in doing that. But I think this is going to have to wait until our next dim boost. Here. But I'll cut to when this does happen, I think. Yeah, we're definitely not close to getting... I forgot to nerf that. That might have to come after our second galaxy. If I want to get a second galaxy, I can. I actually might do a second galaxy. But then again, you can get a second I can get a second galaxy, and then I'll get a achievement multiplier for completing this whole row. This probably could be better if I just did this. It's crazy to think this update's actually been out for a long time. Like 4 years. We're nearing up on the achievement here, but yeah, we're gonna have to dim boost first, sadly. Before we can do this. So yep, now that we have our dim boost, you can see how fast this production is now. We're easily getting up a lot more antimatter. And it's not even funny at this point. We're getting closer and closer to getting to infinity as we move on through this, too. Which is great because we want to get to infinity. That's our goal for today. I think I'm going to release the other video as a little bit of a part 1. Not sure what I'm going to title it, but it's going to be something. But this one is definitely going to be up until the first infinity. Then I'll record another part, which is post infinity, me getting more infinity points for more upgrades and stuff like that. I don't want any of y'all to not see anything that I haven't done, so I'm just posting these videos so you don't think I'm cheating or. And so I don't make sure I'm cheating either. Let me cut to when we get this achievement real quick. Obviously, you want to turn off your auto buyer till when you get the number. So whenever you think you're getting close, like about OQD, which is about quadrantillion, if I'm not mistaken. About then, you should probably turn off your first dim auto buyer. Just in case you hit no. Okay, so as you can see here, we're actually getting pretty close to the achievement we want here. Let me just turn this off so we don't accidentally mess this up. Right? Make sure to put that on buy 1. And here. Now we have it. there we go. There's no point in doing that. I know there isn't a point, but it's just good to do that. It's just good to do that since now we have first antimatter dimensions are 10% stronger, as well as our 8th antimatter dimensions are 10% stronger. Now we can put back on our auto buyer, and now we just wait. Really, for our second galaxy. Honestly, I think we should just get our second galaxy, because it would be easier to get this, our first infinity, with a second galaxy. Even though it does mean you lose out on getting achievement 36, which gives you a nice little boost on tick speed. I think our boosts from our other things, like I forgot to nerf that. Achievement 32. And our achievement multiplier would kind of, as well as our infinity point upgrade that we would get from our first infinity, too, would hopefully balance things out more. And I'll just cut to when we get the second antimatter galaxy, since we're pretty much close enough there. Then things should actually be very, very quick, considering the fact that it was very easy to get up to here. Didn't even take us that long. Probably took us more like an hour or so compared to the other time that took us like a couple hours just to get to like 80 and 8th antimatter dimensions. Not even our first antimatter galaxy, actually. So, I'll just cut to when we get it. Okay, guys. We're almost about to get it. Boom! Second antimatter galaxy. Yup. That's right. Oh, wow. It's actually like grayscale in this theme. But, yeah, it's pretty much like, I mean, the entire, what am I trying to say, actually? Galaxies are really powerful, is really what I'm trying to say. And that's what matters. It's the galaxies. Now, as you can see here, it's not that good at first, but it's definitely gonna work sooner rather than later. It's just like the first antimatter galaxy. It's because of the multipliers you get, the multipliers upon multipliers, that really help in the end. From the dim boosts. But yeah, I'll cut to when we can actually get this, to when this is actually shown, really. Because I know it's not really that shown that much here, but it will definitely, and I mean definitely, it will help. You know, and it's, yeah, our antimatter's not that good right now. Let me just cut to when we do get good progress. We'll see. Now, as you can see, there are 208 antimatter dimensions for our next antimatter galaxy. But don't be fooled by this, because you actually cannot get this. I have checked. You cannot get this without getting infinity first. You are hard capped at 2. The main reason is because, well, you can't get any 8th antimatter dimensions after the infinity limit. So don't bother trying, because that's just a waste of your time. Alright, so as you can see here, it's getting really, really easy now. So we're most likely going to approach the mark where we infinity soon. Just a couple more dim boosts and you'll be good to push into the infinity range. You know, I like the early game of this game a lot. hopefully, while I'm doing this. So, goodbye, y'all. Have a great day.